Hello and welcome to the 2015 CRC World Championship. The Hungarian is the scene of round 10 of the championship. With it being full of tight corners, this circuit is usually known as Monaco without the barriers, with little overtaking opportunities. The fans will be hoping for another exciting race. Just like last year, after the race-long battle for the lead, which saw Chantal just edge out Will Esty for the win. Qualifying saw Will Esty take his first pole position since Canada, edging out his teammate Alex Morse by almost 0.2 of a second. Dan Miller impressed in his masterful by qualifying best of the rest in third, just ahead of Kieran Hardy in fourth, Hannah Brown in fifth, and Toby Jones in sixth. Lucas Quintanilla qualified in seventh, however he had a 5-place grip penalty from the previous event. This promoted Louise Morrow, who demonstrated the RTS's abilities around technical circuits to qualify in seventh. Maxim Dugala once again impressed in his CTP racing car to qualify in eighth, ahead of Lucy Woodward in ninth. Whilst Chantal Hawke struggled as she failed to make Q3 for the first time this season, although she was promoted to 10th by Quintanilla's penalty. David Bland impressed in his toe to qualify in 11th, just ahead of Lucas Quintanilla, whose penalty demoted him to 12th. It was a disappointing session for Coombe, as they could only manage 13th and 15th respectively, marking the first time since Belgium 2013 that both cars failed to make the top 10. It was a positive session for Chantal though, as their upgrade for this race ensured that both cars made it to Q2 for the first time this season, qualifying 14th and 20th respectively, whilst Dan Phillips starts in 17th in his first race for GML Engineering. Tom Mungle however struggled, as he could only manage 21st, whilst James Humphreys endured a shocker, as traffic meant he couldn't maximise the potential of his RTS car and could only manage 25th place. With rain expected later in the race, there was plenty of anticipation with what was to happen in the Hungarian Grand Prix. Lights out, and Esty immediately went to the inside to cover his teammate, who was under threat from Dan Miller, but he managed to hold second. Meanwhile, an attempt to pass it around for Louise Morrow did not work out, as she lost out to the fast starting Lucy Woodward, whilst Tucson got it completely wrong at turn 4. At the end of lap 1, Esty led Moores, Milner, Hardy, Jones, Duran, Woodward, Morrow, Wondragana and Quintanilla. Whilst in the midfield, contact from Phillips sent Minto spinning into retirement. At the front, and it was little surprise to see both the dominant Yasrokas pulling away, with Esty in front. Behind, overtaking was next to impossible, with everybody getting DRS from each other. Alex's race was to take a hit though, as he spun at turn 14, which dropped him to 9th. Perhaps distracted by that, Chantal Hawke made an uncharacteristic mistake at the next corner and spun and stalled her engine, forcing the reigning champion on the sidelines. Alex Wood then lapped onto the back of the CGP racing car of Maxim Dugala, but the 2012 winner of this race was proving he was in no way, shape or form intimidated by the championship leader. But rain arrived on lap 17, with everyone going into the pits on lap 20. A lap later, the entire top 10 bar Hardy and Wondragala pitted. Hardy's gamble seemed to have worked, as he managed to jump Milner in the pit stop. The gamble had worked a treat for Wondragala, as well as he was up to 5th. Shantana were hoping for big improvements with their new upgrades, however it was not to be. Zach Sadiq was to have an engine failure, which put him on the sidelines. And then, Chloe Carter fell victim to the wet track and spun, ending a very promising weekend for the team. Matthew Tucson's difficult season continued as he was also restricted to the sidelines thanks to Boatti engine failure. Esty had built up an 18-second lead, despite a heavy amount of traffic to negotiate. But then, the unthinkable happened. On an attempt to lap the HWR of George Sharma, the HWR initially moved to the inside, but then cut back to the outside, forcing Esty to touch the grass, lose control and slam into the barrier, handing the lead to the Gindana of Kieran Hardy. The damage to Esty's car was terminal, and Will could do nothing but watch his teammate Moores extend his championship lead. Alex then continued his charge by making light work of Morrow. That position would become 6th when contact from Duran sent Wondragala into a spin, dropping the CGP racing driver to 8th. Dan Phillips' first race with GML Engineering could have been a whole better story, as he was also left to watch from the garage after a spin at turn 14. The track then began to dry and everyone pitted. Interestingly, Milner opted to change to intermediates whilst everyone else went to slicks. That would prove to be a mistake as the track dried quicker than he anticipated, forcing him to make an extra stop and dropping him to 5th. Alex Moores also made a mistake with the strategy and stayed out for too long, which dropped him to 9th behind Morrow, Wundergala and Buchan, who'd made significant gains. However, Alex would gain a position when Morrow ran wide at turn 1, dropping her behind Wundergala and Moores. Both Will Buchan and Hannah Duran were caught out by the damp track, as both drivers retired at turn 1 in similar fashion. Things would then spiral out of control at turn 2 on lap 44, as contact between Dan Milner and a lapped James Casey sent both spinning. The rear of Casey's car was right on the apex, and Max Wundergala had no time to react and slammed into the back of the Speedtech driver, ending a very promising drive for Wundergala, blocking the track and caused many drivers to stall their engines, and the race was red flagged and suspended. After a lengthy delay, the race restarted under the safety car. After the safety car line, Milner got it all wrong at turn 14, which dropped him to 6th. There was trouble at the back as contact between Tom Farrar-Smith and George Chandler sent the pair spinning, with the HWR stalling his engine and being forced to retire. After the restart, with the field closed back up, everyone had DRS from each other, making overtaking difficult. Kieran Hardy was still leading with Toby Jones in 2nd. Lucy Woodward, who'd been picking up the pieces when others faltered, was in 3rd, with Alex Moores in 4th, who looked on course to extend his lead over Will SC in the championship by a significant amount. Despite the problems all season, Kieran Hardy had done an excellent job and was about to take a surprise victory when a costly mistake at turn 2 left him in the runoff and out of the race. This promoted Toby Jones to the lead, and despite pressure from Lucy Woodward and Alex Moores in the closing laps, he crossed the line to take his 2nd career win and his 1st with full points. It was 2nd to Lucy Woodward after a strong performance from the Brown Asso driver, and after looking like he would finish in 4th, Alex Moores ended up with a podium, extending his championship lead over Will SC to 31 points. Louise Morrow pulled off a fabulous drive to bring her RTS home in a strong 4th place. Dan Milner was disappointed with 5th, having felt he could have won had he not changed to the intermediate tyres when the track dried. Tom Mungle pulled off another strong drive to finish in 6th, ahead of Lucas Quintanilla in 7th and Jack Bulman in 8th. It was a quiet but disappointing race from Matt Coombs, as he only finished in 9th, whilst David Bland rounded out the top 10, completing a good race for Tove. Kerry-Ann Peace pulled off a strong performance but just missed out on points in 11th, just ahead of James Humphreys, who pulled off a good performance to finish in 12th despite his bad qualifying, whilst it was a difficult race for Morsett, as they could only manage 13th and 15th respectively, whilst James Casey wins the HWR Speedtech battle, even finishing ahead of Joshua Moores in the Mossad. In the drivers' standings, as mentioned before, Alex Moores has extended his lead over Will SC to 31 points, whilst Toby Jones' win has moved him ahead of Chantal Hawke for 3rd in the standings. Hannah Duran still lies in 5th, 2 points ahead of Dan Milner in 6th. 1 point behind Milner is Lucy Woodward, whose 2nd place has moved her up into 7th in the standings. Matt Coombs still lies in 8th, just ahead of Kieran Hardy in 9th, whilst Tom Mungle's 6th place has moved him ahead of both Matthew Dutton and Will Buchan for 10th in the standings. In the constructors, Yanata Roka still leading with a comfortable gap back to 2nd place Masterful, whose win and 5th place has moved him ahead of Dork for 2nd. Brown Asso have also made gains, as Lucy Woodward's 2nd place has moved them ahead of Coonsby for 4th. Other than that, the remaining teams stay in their respective positions. The next race will be the Dutch Grand Prix, and you can watch that race live as it happens. Just simply head to this YouTube channel on the 23rd of August and follow the links to the live broadcast. The times for the race will be confirmed on the CRC site at sharkaracing.wix.com/official and the CRC Twitter at twitter.com/CRCRacing1 on the Wednesday before the race. Don't forget also to check out the CRC Facebook at facebook.com/CRCRacing1 for news and edited music race edits. On the CRC Twitter you can also find links to the qualifying, practice and support race streams. Also don't forget you can rate this race via the link in the description. You can subscribe to this channel for more CRC streams and highlights videos and some F1 2015 content. We hope you enjoyed today's highlights. We'll see you next time for the 11th round of the 2015 CRC World Championship.